Welcome to the Hour of Happy, where ambition meets joy and big dreams don't come with apologies. I am Devin Roof, entrepreneur, marketing expert, and your inside source for what it really takes to build a life that you love. Whether you're building a business, making a career leap, or just chasing the spark that lights you up again, this is your space to grow, laugh, learn, and remember who the heck you are. This is the Hour of Happy. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Hour of Happy. I'm your host, Devin Roof, and today we are talking about something that sits at the core of every successful brand, and that is trust. It's not trends, not hacks, and not going viral. It's all about building trust. Attention might get someone to your website, but trust is what gets them to pull out their credit card and buy. And the deeper trust, that's what turns a one-time buyer into a repeat customer and eventually into a brand advocate who sells for you. If you are creating social media and marketing content and wondering why engagement doesn't always translate into revenue, then this episode is for you. Today, we're breaking down how to intentionally build trust through your content so you're not just attracting views, you're building brand loyalty that converts into repeat customers over and over again. So, before we dive into tactics, let's go ahead and shift your mindset a bit. Content is not about posting to stay visible. Quality content can be used to create a trust-building system. So every blog, caption, email, or video should answer one of the three questions in your audience's mind. Number one, can you help them solve a problem? 2, do you know what you're doing? And 3, can I rely on you? If your content consistently answers one of those questions, then you are already winning, my friend. But if it doesn't, then you stay stuck in the cycle of chasing attention. So to kick things off, tip number 1, be generous with your knowledge. So if you want loyal customers, you have to demonstrate expertise before asking for or even expecting commitment from anyone. And here's where a lot of brands fall short. They talk about what they offer, but they don't demonstrate how their product or service could actually help their customer. So for example, if you're a photographer, don't just post finished galleries on social media. Explain how you guide clients through posing so they feel confident. If you're in real estate, don't just post listings. Break down what makes one property a smart investment over another. If you sell products, educate on materials, quality, care, and definitely what makes yours different. Trust deepens when people see how you approach problems. And by showing, not telling, you reduce buyer hesitation. And I pause there, guys, because that's so important. And that's one of my marketing rules that I use time and time again. Show, don't tell. That's not fluff talk. That's the real deal that I've learned being in this industry for 17 years. So stop thinking you're giving too much away and worrying if competitors are going to steal your content or ideas. Guess what? They will. But that can be an entire separate episode on its own. What you need to do is position yourself as the authority. The brands that win long-term are the ones that say, let me show you how this works. And guess what happens next? When people learn from you, they begin to trust you. And when they trust you, price becomes less of a barrier, all right? Now, tip number 2, be transparent. Trust is built through transparency. So if your content only highlights perfection, you're already creating distance. Strategic transparency closes the gap between you and the buyer. So for example, if you're a service-based business, this means clearly explaining your process. So outlining what onboarding looks like for someone. Setting expectations up front. If you require a deposit or a retainer, explain to the customer why. Talk about timelines. If results take time, say that clearly to set expectations. When people understand what to expect, they feel safe. We already established trust from step 1. Now we're building that safety layer here in step number 2. And why are we doing this? Because safety is directly tied to purchasing behavior. As humans, we are constantly evaluating risk. Whether you're trying to decide whether or not to buy something or start a new relationship, risk is at the forefront of our brains because that's just how we're wired. So Your job as a business owner or the marketer is to lower that perceived risk. Pull back the curtain and let your audience see how you work, what you value, and even the challenges you faced along the way. It might mean explaining why your process works the way it does, admitting when something didn't go as planned, or sharing lessons from a mistake. Oh, the lessons from the mistake one is huge. That raw vulnerability can move mountains here, you guys. I can't stress that enough. When people see your honesty, they start believing in your integrity and your product. All right, so moving on now to step number 3 or tip number 3, show up consistently. All right, I'm going to drop the cold hard facts here, guys. You can't build trust if your brand disappears. You can't build trust if your messaging changes every week, and you can't build trust if your quality fluctuates. Showing up consistently doesn't mean just posting. It means having a consistent brand tone, offering consistent value to the people that follow you, and providing consistent follow-through and delivery on your products or service. And this applies across all of your marketing channels. When your audience sees you repeatedly show up with substance and something really powerful starts to happen, you move from random account I follow to trusted voice in my space. And when that shift happens, your content stops feeling like marketing. It starts feeling like familiarity. And familiarity is a psychological driver of trust. The more often someone sees your brand delivering value, the more normal it feels to naturally choose you. Not because you pushed harder, but because you showed up steadily and consistently. So, one easy way to ensure consistently, we'll say on social media, for example, is by creating a content calendar. It's such a simple, easy way to get your ducks in the row right off rip. This will keep your content on track and ensure variety in your topics. Tip number 4, engage like a human. When someone takes the time to engage with your content, whether it's a comment, a message, a share, a like, that's an opportunity to deepen the relationship. Respond personally. Ask follow-up questions. Share in their excitement or emphasize with their concerns. This shows your audience that you see them as more than just numbers on a dashboard, okay? So one thing you can start doing right away is dedicating time each day to community management. Small, authentic interactions add up to big trust over time. So even if you carve out 10 minutes every day to engage on social media, the better off you're going to be. And this is where casual followers become loyal customers, and loyal customers become advocates. And this is where you win big time, you guys, because brand advocates don't just buy again. They tag you in their post. They refer you to their friends. They defend you when your brand is being attacked. And they promote you without having to be asked. That level of loyalty is built only through consistent interaction. So it's not automation, no mass messaging, or surface level engagement. You will not win in marketing or business if you operate that way. All right, so it's time for some final thoughts and takeaways. Remember, trust is built in the details. When your content teaches, tells the truth, and consistently delivers value, your audience begins to rely on you. And once they trust you, they're far more likely to become loyal customers and brand advocates. So let's zoom out for a sec for an easy way to remember all of this. It's going to go from getting attention to building trust to getting that purchase or sale to creating loyalty and turning that customer into a brand advocate. Most brands stop at the purchase. Don't be those brands, you guys. Take that extra step. Invest in your business a step further. Okay, the real power and the real profitability lives in loyalty and advocacy. Loyal customers cost less to retain than new customers cost to acquire. Remember that too. They convert faster and they spend more over time. Then your big winners here, your brand advocates, they're the ones creating organic marketing content for you. They increase your credibility instantly because they are those third-party validators. And they also bring in higher quality referrals, pretty much almost vetted referrals right served up to you on a platter. And what fuels both loyalty and advocacy? It all goes back to trust, okay? Build that trust. I can't stress that enough. And remember, long-term trust isn't built in one viral moment. It's built in the daily discipline of showing up with value. When your content teaches and when it tells the truth and constantly delivers substance, your audience begins to rely on you. And when they rely on you, they'll choose you over and over and over again. I hope today's episode challenged you to look at your content differently. If you found value here, share it with someone who is serious about building something that lasts. I would also love if you left a review if you're on Apple. It helps expand our reach and allows others to find us. And if you're listening on Spotify, remember to hit that follow button so you don't miss future episodes. Last but not least, connect with us at Hour of Happy on social media. I love hearing from you guys, and I'm always open to new topic ideas, guest recommendations, and just hearing from you in general. Thank you all so much for listening today. Until next time, I hope you find your hour of happy in every single day.